Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining, for all those who are able to join live. Thank you for those of you joining later. I'm so happy you are here with me, connecting in this way, in this really strange time in the world. Isn't it a little bit of a strange time? Just a smidgeroo. This is the Lightworkers Global Call to Action series, and today's topic is finding a new rhythm in uncertain times. So we'll be getting into that a little bit this call, and yeah, but before we do, my name's Geneva Robbins. I'm a Reiki master here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I've been teaching people Reiki and meditation for many years. And when all of this hit, I was just called to do something to create a community where we could all gather, reach out and support each other, and then also activate our light so that we could connect with each other, connect in and ground into our roots so that we can create positive action from where we stand. And today I've got a few helpers. I've got Ayla Thomas. She's a Reiki master here in Calgary and a life coach. Say hi, Ayla.
Hi, guys.
Thank you for joining me. And I also have Kayla Young, who's a Reiki master, yoga teacher, and many things, as both of these are very multi-talented women. Say hi, Kayla.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you. Thank you for both for joining me and supporting everybody that's on the call. As we go along through the live version, if you want to type in into the chat to all panelists and attendees, of just whatever you're experiencing, if you want to share anything, that would be really, really great. I'd love to hear from you. Right now, you can type in maybe where you're from, how you're feeling, how things are going in your neck of the woods. So Ayla, can you maybe explain how the chat works?
Yeah, so at the bottom of your screen, there should be a little button that says chat, and it's like a little talking bubble. And then when the chat comes up, the lower right part of your screen, there's a little blue bar where you can select. It'll either say all panelists, which would be the three of us, or you can say all panelists and attendees if you want everyone to read your messages. So if you do want to engage with everyone, you want to select that one.
Perfect. Thank you. My ability to navigate technological concepts is really pushed to its maximum. So I'm really, really happy for that. I'm super, super grateful to have both Ayla and Kayla here to help respond to you guys and on the chat and live and all of that. So that was really helpful for me. We need each other big time. Big time. So the only way through this is together. That's the only way I see this playing out and happening. So yeah. I always have to look at my notes. So here we go. I think the best thing to do is to jump into a grounding meditation. If you're brand new to meditation, it's such a huge practice to keep you rooted in these times. So there's two things with meditation that can boost up your feelings of calm and safety. One is closing your eyes, and the other is breathing slower. And if you've tuned into other calls, you'll have heard me explain this. So if you want a little bit of a refresher on meditation and what grounding is, I encourage you to go to the Luna Holistic blog or back through the podcast to get a fuller explanation of that, I will be creating a separate little grounding meditation video and audio, as well as the other meditations we share here. And I'll post those up as individuals so you can just listen into them as you go through your day. But I find for me, grounding in, so connecting into the energy of the earth, really helps support us. The first thing we lose is when we get stressed is our ground. And right now we're starting to reestablish our roots, or getting used to the sense of a new normal and really plugging into what's happening and living moment by moment, day by day. Thank you, Allison from Calgary. Easing into our new normal. Spin is reducing in connecting with community like this one. So yeah, so like when this all hit a couple of days ago, everything felt like it was just a whirlwind of chaos and this being in the center of this hurricane. And now everybody's probably feeling like they're pretty hunkered down. You've got everything that you need, but there's still a lot of energy. And what I've been finding as I've been going through this is I ride through waves. So I use my practice of grounding and Reiki and meditation to help me get centered. I get centered through mindful positive action, and then I'm good for a little while, and then I'm not. Yesterday was a really difficult day, having to reduce the capacity of my space just for safety reasons. So really going to 50% capacity and just making those choices day by day for our center, Luna Holistic in Calgary. It's really hard because, when you care so much about something you've built and made with your own hands, and then to have to reduce the amount of service you can offer people, it's really hard. And then, but I'm also totally prepared to, if we have to close it, we have to close it. That's it, But it's just, there are a bunch of personal losses. There are a bunch of global losses. And there's just so much coming from every direction. So my son may have done his last day in grade 6, last day going into that elementary school yesterday. So there were a lot of tears for me. He was fine. He's 11. He's totally fine with it. Being off school, it hasn't impacted him as much as maybe us. But yeah, I find I've been crying every day, and I've also been feeling empowered every day, and just sort of really holding space for my own feelings and other people's feelings, and just easing into this mushy uncertainty and vulnerability, and leaning into it as much as I can, being really mindful that being anchored in action and meditation can also be a distraction and a way to numb. So balancing that need for feeling and processing my feelings, which are huge and many, on a personal level, on my care for the world, and then really also not letting myself tumble too far in to the overwhelm, and come back to my practice, come back to my roots, come back to that grounded energy, and just sort of really anchoring myself in what is deep and lasting and ancient. And for me, that is this grounded energy of Mother Earth, who is ancient and who has seen it all for however many billion years. And then anchoring in the light, anchoring in the divine, anchoring in the universe, and then really, really leading from the heart space, because the mind cannot figure this out. Just the other day, I was going about my day, and I was like, it's fine. I'm making too big of a deal of this. This is what my mind was telling me. It's like, look at all these people just driving around, driving their cars from here to there. It's like, no big deal. Yeah, it's totally fine. It's like that. I don't know if you've seen that meme of the little dog with inside the house that's on fire. It's fine. It's fine. Which is just like a coping mechanism. I think of my brain can't process what's happening. And so it's making up a story that makes sense to me and making up a story that makes me feel comfortable. But that's not really what, it's not fine. There's a lot of disruption going around. This is not normal. And it's not about making it normal or making it okay. It's about finding this new way through this so that when we emerge out on the other side, whatever the other side is going to be, we'll be anchored in this light of compassion and love and care for each other in a way globally that is unprecedented. That's sort of where my feeling is with it. So I feel overwhelmed with gratitude. I cry tears of gratitude just as often as I cry tears of sadness. Just there's the energy and support for us and the love for us from the divine has never been greater. Never in my lifetime has this energy been as strong and clear and solid for us. So whatever the fear is, whatever the anger is, whatever the overwhelm, whatever the confusion, there is a positive opposite living underneath it. So if we're in fear, there is courage underneath that is so much greater than whatever the fear is. What if there's distancing and fighting, there is a love there that is greater. There is a connection there that is greater. And we're starting to see that more and more and more as these positive stories and just acts of compassion are sort of rippling out. That's where we're all headed, because that's the only way through. We are all connected. We're all in this together. This is unified everybody around the world. Everybody is dealing with this in their own way. And some people, it maybe hasn't affected them as much. Some people, it's really impacted and it's devastating for them, and everywhere in between. And all of that is okay. And so really it's, the purpose of these gatherings is to connect with other people who are sort of wanting to anchor in that energy of compassion for themselves, for your family, to really be that pillar of light for your community and the world as a whole. So thank you so very much. We'll go right into the grounding meditation, and I'll come back a bit to some of your comments and things like that. But I think grounding is a good thing. So if you're brand new to meditation, it's very simple. You'll just follow along the best you can. And yeah, we'll jump right in. So this is a grounding meditation for my book, The Secret Art of Happiness. On the Luna Holistic website, on the resources page, we are compiling a list of resources as quickly as we can get them up and available. And this is just one of the resources that I've got ready for people that can maybe help you through this time. It's got a lot of information. There's a whole chapter on grounding. There's a whole chapter on patience, which we would definitely need for people who are maybe being critical and angry and difficult to deal with, and in their own definitely not comfortable ways of coping with things. So that's a resource that's out there, and it's on all of the digital means. So if you're worried about not being able to get a physical copy shipped to you, you can buy it on Kindle, Kobo, all of those digital things. Yeah. But I'll be making the meditations from the book available online as soon as I can get them up. So let's ground, everybody. So you can just very gently Just closing your eyes. As you listen to my voice, let your breath relax. Place your feet flat on the floor and bring your spine up straight. Just gently become aware of the energy of the earth just below your feet, just below the base of your spine. Notice the vast expanse of energy available to you now. This energy is wise, dependable, and nurturing. Feel the charge and character of this earth energy now. Now, become aware of the energy within your body. Observe the difference or similarity between your energy and the earth's energy. Just notice this gently, easily, and with great kindness. Just notice this gently and now easily with your breath. Allow the energy of your body and the energy of the earth to balance out. Let the energy reach its own stable resting point, your natural equilibrium. Allow the charges in your body and in the earth to harmonize, just easily and gently with your breath. Notice how your breath helps the energy flow. Notice the support, the love, the comfort that is available to you now. There's no need to push or pull the energy here. Just step aside and let it flow. Allow the earth energy to rise up your body right to your crown. Allow any unwanted energy or tension to flow off right through your feet. Let the nurturing presence of Mother Earth be with you now. Surrender all barriers and blockages to her magnificent love. You are so loved. Feel it now. ready, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Give yourself a big hug. And bring the energy down your legs, just smoothing the energy down your legs, connecting in. And then bringing your hands facing your body around your aura. So there's an energy bubble around you, just smoothing the energy off from head to toe. Just really feeling that vibrant, bright, shining energy all around your body. And then just giving that energy a little pat, just to seal in that healing. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I would love to hear from you of how that felt for you. Maybe your before and after experience would be really interesting to hear. But I'd love to hear from Kayla and Ayla. And so we'll just get that going. But for me, I always find I felt such a big energy connecting in through my heart. So, but yeah, if so, Kayla and Ayla, if you activate your microphones, then we can share. All right. So, Kayla, why don't you share? What did you experience in that?
I feel very still, like just very, like I felt like I didn't move anything during that. I feel very grounded. A lot of energy coming through, a lot of grounding energy. I feel very like heavy in my spot where I'm sitting. Like I just feel very, very, very grounded, very grateful. And it was great. It's like I can still feel the energy kind of surging through my feet and up into my heart and just filling my whole body. It feels great.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Ayla, what did you experience?
That was so lovely. I feel like I kind of had the brain things happening for most of the day. I think I don't realize like how on high I am until I do a meditation like that. And then I realize I'm on high and have been operating up there all day. When you were saying like you are so loved and connecting into that earth energy. I've been talking to people, I feel like all this week, who are also single and at home, and kind of that feeling of like, I'm isolated and what am I going to do if no one's there? And, you know, if I'm in quarantine, then I'm by myself. And it just felt really good to connect into that earth energy. Like I'm loved. Like I'm totally loved. I'm not alone. I'm loved. That was such a great feeling. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm just gonna read some of the comments here. So Lori, wonderful as always, much more grounded. Thank you. Michelle, feels so great and relaxed. A nice reminder that we are all supported and loved and connected. Allison, my feet are so warm. Could feel the warmth from the earth flow up through my legs like they're being wrapped and rooted. Can actually feel my body now. Yes, such a great, such a great comment, because that's a big part of it, is that we're dealing with so much and we're having to make so many rapid fire decisions that we often just get pulled right up into our minds. You know, our energy gets really high within everything that we're experiencing. And it doing this kind of grounding work helps you bring you back into your body. Because if your consciousness is way up here or your consciousness is on tomorrow, then you're not here. You're not rooted, you're not in your space. And if you're not grounded, that's when you're going to slip, trip, and fall. That's when people get into car accidents. So be very mindful on the roads, because people's minds are not in their vehicles. Their minds are on their kids and their pets and their work. And some people are massively overloaded with work right now, and other people have none. And that extreme is really, it puts a lot of pressure and stress on everybody for sure. But it means that we can go into this non-grounded space. Yeah. Yes. So, yes. And if you would like to share your comments, you can do so in the chat. We'd love to hear how things are going for you. I want to go back to a comment from Jessie about sort of how we're experiencing things in the world out there. I feel the people I depend on in normal times are feeling a stress and anxiety as everything that's been going on is so new and different. I feel such a necessary responsibility to learn how to keep myself calm and grounded in my own ways and to share the calmness and inner love for others. Thank you, Jessie. That's really it, is that we all kind of need to anchor in that. Natasha mentioned earlier that there was lots of anger and frustration in my world. That's what she said. And that's definitely a thing. It's a reaction of how we cope. So if people coped with things by getting angry and blaming, then they're getting angry and blaming. If people coped by being fearful, then they're fearful. If people, coped by pretending everything's fine, then that's how they're responding. And that's just the way things are for people, because we really are having a struggle to try to process everything that's coming at us. It's so removed from life as normal. So yeah, thank you, everybody. Shauna, thank you. Feeling much more calm in my body. Rhonda, the beauty of your meditation helped me reach a calmness in my heart, and positive energy is now spreading in my whole body now. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It means a lot. Just so you know, it's way easier for me to feel grounded and connected when I'm here with all of you. It's remarkable, actually. Like, I can just feel like I drop right in really, really easily. So, and that's why I want to keep these things going as long as we possibly can, as long as the need is there. And really, the need will always be there, because we've always needed this. This is why I've taught grounding and meditation and Reiki all of these years of, people being in their bubble, because it's tools that we need to not just get through this, but to get through all of the other problems we had before this, which we still have. And so when this all unravels, we'll be working through and using these tools to rebuild our society and rebuild our interconnections. Things have changed. And really what's happening is that we have to find a new way of being with each other through this. We have no other option with facing like astronomical levels of unemployment and stress on our infrastructure and all of the things that we've never had to deal with before. Our currency in this new world, how we are going to exchange goods and services, is really going to be driven by this energy of compassion and creativity. I feel, at least, for right now, we'll still be using money as an easy way to exchange that. Although who knows what tomorrow will bring. But for now, we have money, so we're going to use it to exchange based on goods and services that we receive that we value is the most convenient way. And we're just all going digital with all of the things. So we'll see how that all unfolds. But for me, what grounding does for me is it helps me anchor myself into what's happening in this moment where my body is. And I find that I'm getting through this by really being present and really being mindful. Like, I can't really think about today. I don't know how many of you have been like losing the sense of perspective of time, because it's like everything sort of happened on Thursday and that feels like 15 years ago. You know. I really feel like I can't make decisions about things that are going to happen more than a day in advance. You know, like I'm maybe like 3 or 4 days out, but I'm also just, you know, when I get there, I'll make a choice about it. Particularly in-person meetings with people, I really don't know. I really don't know. Nobody does, you know. So it's really living moment by moment, day by day. But I find that actually helps calm me, because then it's like if my thoughts get too far ahead of like what's going to happen and what's happening in the world, it's like, no, just bring yourself back down, bring yourself to this moment, this breath. Where are your feet? Where's your body? Where's your energy within you? Ground and just feel what you're feeling. Embrace your feelings. So if you're feeling angry, that's okay. Everything we're going through has to feel okay. If you're feeling fearful, that's okay. If you're feeling joyous, that's okay. If you're feeling calm, that's okay. We need people in joy and calm, because we need to drop into that heart space and then ask our hearts what to do, because the mind cannot process this. So, but the heart contains our wisdom of our soul, the wisdom of our being, and our hearts are going to win this. The hearts are what is going to activate that divine creativity. All of the solutions for all of these problems exist within the universal field of intelligence that makes up all things. Because I come from a Reiki tradition, I call that Reiki. Reiki is both energy and information. And when we tap into that universal flow of information, energy, we get information, and we get it just like Google directions. We get it one step at a time. And just like those directions to get from point A to point B, there's a kindness in the system to not give you all 50 steps at once, because as we go through, we're going to need to course correct, and we might be going to the same place, but how we are going to get there is going to be so different from how we got to places before. And it's really cultivating this sort of new structure that's going to sort of live and breathe with us moment by moment as all of this unfolds. One of the things that I've been sort of thinking about a lot is this: there's the old way and the new way. And the new way is constantly evolving. And, you know, so for the example of school, so many of you may have your kids off school. And many of you may be off work, but I'm just going to use the school example because it's one that's immediate to me. But I'd love to hear, you can type it in the chat of what your old way was with something and what your new way is. I'd love to hear examples of how you've taken old structures and routines of how you used to do things, and this new way based in the heart, based in the compassion of our spirit. So for us with our kid, he's in grade 6. He would have normally have had 3 months of school left till the end of June. And so what we did was we had this list of like, here's the old way of the way school and education happened. And we walked him through, so what did you do during your day? You know, so we arrived at this time in the morning, and then we did maybe these subjects, or it was sort of whatever the teacher needed to teach. Then we'd have recess, and recess was 15 minutes, and just sort of going through the structure of his day, because I think there's something we still need structure. That's part of the support for our root chakra. So getting up at the same time or a good time for our physical health and well-being, and going to bed at some time that's good for our physical health and mental health and well-being, and having exercise in our routines. And so we sat down with him and we let him, we knew we wanted to keep all of the same subjects going, and maybe we could add some subjects that he was interested in. So we just listed out all of the subjects, and we created a new schedule that would maybe work, and maybe we'll create another because we're adjusting to all of the things. But we basically created subjects and times, and he is managing his own education because he's old enough to do that. And he's choosing, okay, during science, I'm going to pick this video to watch. So he picked a video one day for geology. So he's looking at how the world was formed. And then he picked a physics video, and there was long equations in this video. Like, he picked a really high level one, nothing I would have ever assigned. And so we're working that way to create this new way, this new solution to, here's a thing that we used to do, which was have our children get educated. So now we have to create this new way of doing those things. For me, I'm thinking about like the old way of buying things, right? Like, and which was, you just sort of lined up in the counter and you had to stand really close to each other, and you could use cash, you just hand over this filthy wad of money and people just took it and then they'd rub their eyes. Like, that's the old way. That old way is gone forever, probably. And because nobody wants to touch your filthy dollar bills. So not without a lot of hand sanitizer and gloves right now. At least in my corner of the world, that's where we're at. So now it's you line up and you're a meter apart or more. And if there is even a place to buy things, there still are things, like the basics are still open. You tap with your card and you get out of there as soon as possible without breathing anything or touching your face. This is the new way. But like we're adapting to all of the ways of doing that. But you think of like before, in the old way, did that work for us? How many times did we get sick? How many times did we come down with the flu? How many times were the elderly populations at risk from pneumonia and things that people would just drag into nursing homes all the time? We just didn't ever think about it, but it was still a risk. How many public health officials are like, I've been telling you for my entire career to wash your hands. Now everybody's finally washing their hands, so that's sort of part of it. In communication with people. So the old way was, I like being right. I still like being right, but it's nice to be right. It feels powerful to be right. The new way is, we have to give up being right so we can be real, because we have to be real with each other and not talk about what you want and what I want and what I would think is going to happen, and all of the things and theories and all of that conjecture and posturing and all of that is gone. I have no interest in talking to people who think they're right. I have all the time in the world for people who want to have a real conversation with me about what matters, like love. Like, I want to tell everybody I know that I love them because it's uncertain. And that hits home really hard. Having people I care about in high-risk groups, it's scary. And it's something that I'm managing day by day, minute by minute, but it's there and we're all in this. Everybody has somebody in a high-risk group they love. And so we just have to manage that constant state of vulnerability. But because you feel vulnerable, you feel vulnerable because you care, and that's good. So remember that all of those feelings are based in compassion, and there's a positive feeling underneath. There's a positive thing underneath all of it, even the behaviors we don't understand, like the minimizing, which can be really frustrating and can make people really angry. That's a coping mechanism. That's how people are creating a sense of safety, even if it's a false sense of safety. That's all they know how to do. And if they knew how to do this that we're doing here together, then they probably would be doing this, right? So they just don't know. And so really dropping into knowing what that maybe positive feeling or positive intent is underneath the nonsensical behavior, which is that people are just trying to sort out for themselves something that does not compute. And if people have spent their whole lives living in their minds and don't know how to travel into their heart, they don't know how to travel into their inner being, that's going to be a new pathway that they're going to be forming really, really quickly. And those of us who've always lived in our hearts and have always felt compassion for others and have always been concerned about the state of the world, we're used to being there. We're used to being in that heart courageous space. So we know the way. And so we can basically be like a kind Google instructions of how to travel this space from the worried mind into the calm heart. So thank you. I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Kayla and Ayla, I'd love it if I could hear from you as well. Ayla, what do you have anything to add to that discussion of the new way or the old way to the new way?
Yeah, I was in my apartment hallway like maybe an hour ago, and I was just taking my garbage out, and there was one of the like people that clean the apartment building out in the hall, and usually we'd be like right in the elevator together or like, you know, right beside each other. And she actually waited until I walked close to my door and stayed like a meter or two away from me. And I was like, whoa, like
Mm-hmm.
even here, even in my apartment building, people are like, I don't want to be close to you. Like, I don't know if you're sick or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that was such a strange feeling. I just like, it took me a good few minutes to kind of grasp that like, because sometimes I forget when I'm at home that we're like in this, because I'm just at home and things are kind of normal when I'm at home. But when I go out, I'm like, oh, right, we're, we're in this craziness. Um, so that was new. I do miss the old way there, because I do just want to like touch people and like just not have to worry about being, you know, a couple meters away from someone. I feel like my old kind of routine would be going to the gym in the morning before work, maybe doing like 5 minutes of yoga, fast meditation, and, you know, getting ready to go out the door and do my thing. My new schedule is to do lots of yoga, which actually is great. It kind of brought me back to my yoga teacher training time, where you just start the morning with yoga. That's just what you do. And then I've got more time to meditate because I'm not going to the gym. I've got all this extra time that I can spend just with me and doing something that feels really good for me. So yes, I miss the gym, but also this is a great new routine too, and it's kind of brought me back to my roots, where I feel really good doing that, and I feel really good there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's a whole bunch of things that have switched. So the old way was that, you know, me and my husband and my son we have really busy lives, and we have a great family, but we're just kind of living by our calendar, right? And so we schedule time for each other as often as we could in the old way. But it was busy, and so the time together was short. Um, but now we're here together all of the time, and I really love it. You know, it's really great. It's really, really great. So I love that part. Um, and going for walks outside together, which is something we've always loved doing. We always like hiking and that, and we've got a beautiful ridge not far from our home that we can walk to and get a beautiful view of the mountains here. And it's just stunning. And you see people talking and laughing, and the playgrounds that used to be empty are full now, you know, and people are reaching out across the way, which is just amazing. Kayla, did you have anything that you wanted to add or share about the new old way, new way?
Well, I'm quite enjoying the new way. I mean, aside from, you know, the craziness that it is, it's, you know, the hustle and bustle of the busy city. There's just not enough time to do anything. So this new way right now is really giving me an opportunity to just slow it down, which is like what I've been craving forever, because there's just so many things on the go, especially with, you know, young kiddos. So it's nice, like now there's been opportunities for me to focus more on me and my well-being, as well as Amelia. Like we get up in the morning leisurely now. We're not morning people, so we don't get up early, you know. We just get up leisurely, and then we get up and we go to the basement and we do our yoga routine and we move our bodies and we're eating healthier, and there's just time, and there's time to sit and work on my like courses that I've been wanting to do and that have just been sitting on the back burner forever, and just really focus on the things that I want to put energy towards. So I've been fairly calm about the whole situation with everything going on, but I have like noticed like calm, but also taking it seriously. But I have noticed ever since like this morning, I've been feeling a little emotional about it all of a sudden. I'm not sure exactly what it is or where it's coming from, because it's just kind of, like I said, I've been pretty calm about the whole thing. Just taking precautions like everybody, and making sure that we're all good and safe. But yeah, I've been emotional today, up and down with it. It's just all so different. And when you sit and think about the big picture of it all, you're like, wow, just kind of makes you a bit crazy in your head. But yeah, I'm enjoying the slowness of it. I'm trying to look at the positive things and the good things, and you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Thank you so much. Thank you both for sharing. I'd love to read some of the comments now. Yes. So Jessie, the new me feels like I've almost been given a second chance of doing me right, creating the routine that incorporates movement, meditation, walks with my dog, phone calls with old friends, healthy bedtime routines, etc. The old me had routines or habits I feel blessed that I'm shedding, given a drastic new schedule. Thank you. And she also says, I don't know how to greet people now. I'm such a hugger and for sure will shake hands. I feel awkward and standoffish now. I totally get that. And we're learning how to navigate this, what touch means. And I think just like when the AIDS, HIV epidemic hit in the 80s, and we all had to transition to this idea of safer sex. You know, it's not safe sex, it's safer sex. And I think we're transitioning to figuring out what safer touch is. And something that Ayla had mentioned to me was that, you know, because I was like, I was feeling sad. I'm like, is this the end of hugs? Because my love language is physical affection. Like I live on hugs. I don't know if any of you live on hugs, but it makes me really sad. But one thing Ayla had said that helped me so much a couple of days ago was that hugs feel about 60 times better. And the more this goes on, they feel 60 million times better. so that when both of you feel safe to expose each other to each other, when you do hug, it's amazing. When we touch each other now, it's so just in that like just loving, compassionate care. Like just even having somebody like touch your shoulder is powerful. Just have somebody hold your hand is like, can move you to tears, and then we go wash ourselves and don't touch your face, right? So, but yeah, creating ways of doing that. Within our families and with strangers, kids are not going to respect the social distancing rules, especially little ones, you know in some ways it's like it's an impossible task, and they need to be cuddled and they need to be touched and held, because that's really important to their brain development and their feelings of connection. um, and they're just going to do it anyway. So so we'll still have touch in some way. It's just going to change probably with strangers in the public. Shauna says, my old way was going to the gym after meditation, and new way is doing meditation and doing home workouts online. I love to hug. To greet now, I send the virtual hug and namaste greeting. I love that. For those of you who don't know, namaste is just hands together in prayer in front of your heart and just a little bow, which is beautiful. Bowing, you know. Allison, working from home in my pajamas has been a fantasy of mine. Walking the pooch several times a day with the kiddo, lots of outside time. Beautiful. Michelle, I just want to say thank you for this beautiful experience and making time for all of us. It's calming and encouraging. With the old and new, not having a routine of your day, even though I have so much time, I feel a little unmotivated to get things done. I've been wanting to, because this is such an unsettling time without knowing what I can work, what I can start work, or what's going to happen. I'm grateful I get to spend this time with my parents, which makes me feel safe as we take care of each other. That's beautiful. Yes, there's definitely this feeling of, the things that you would normally plan out ahead, like calls and meetings and talks with people, especially in the work front. For me, I have normally my days and my weeks are about like scheduling classes in person and booking things ahead of time. Right now I would normally be doing bookings for, scheduling for my fall classes and the summer classes. And now, I don't know, like I'm not putting any effort into that because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, or even anything beyond that. And I really can't get too far ahead of that because that makes me feel really scared and sad because I don't know. And so I just pull myself right back to the present of like, and I ask my heart every single minute, okay, heart, okay, soul, okay, inner being, divine, what is my job today? What's my work? And sometimes my work is go create this webinar so people can meet because they need it and you know how to do it. So get it going right now, even though you're supposed to go be sleeping right now. Thursday night I couldn't sleep, so I got up and I worked and I created the first meeting, and so I've just been really following that because that makes me feel better to be engaged in purposeful work that can help people. It's amazing how much living in that purpose can really help, and sort of helping from whatever way you can with whatever gifts and talents that you have, and really giving from a place of abundance and a place of generosity, from the overflow. We each have special talents, gifts, and blessings in our lives. And it's really about leveraging that and really tapping in deep of like, what am I really, really good at? What do I have a lot of? Some people might have a lot of money. So that's a really great way to support others during this time of uncertainty. But if you don't have a lot of money, just be grateful for what you have and be frugal. You will have a lot of something else. And that something else is maybe you have a lot of compassion. Maybe you have a lot of time. Maybe you're a great listener. Maybe you have a skill like Reiki or some other modality that you can do distance-wise. Maybe you're great at rubbing people's feet. You know, that's a really great way of safer touch and a really great way of getting people into their bodies and grounded. Who doesn't love a foot massage? Like, it's so great. I trained years ago in reflexology, just because I was so curious about it. And it's amazing, amazing. So if you know any people that do that, encourage them to do that, because we are going to need touch going forward, and touch that will help us feel centered and grounded and safe. And any other thing that, if you're creative, if you have a song in your heart, if you've always wanted to write that novel, if you've got a movie that's been playing in your head and you just feel like if you could just get it down on paper, just do that. When we engage in creative, joyful work that our heart and soul is calling us towards, there's an irresistible pull towards it now. And whatever that is for you, and giving yourself a time to just explore what your heart's calling you to do, what your soul, the deep wisdom inside you is inspiring you to do to help people. Whatever your gifts are, that's what we all need. And everybody has their own unique gifts and talents. And so that's what's needed now. So you don't need to do it all. You don't need to discover a cure. You don't need to become a doctor or a nurse unless your heart's calling you to do that. Get to work, because we need people in every single field. There's no accident where you are. I feel like all of these compassionate souls all over the world being in jobs that are boring or not feeling like you're using all of your gifts and skills and talents, the universe has placed you exactly where you are because that's where you need to be right now. So just don't worry if you want to get more into maybe energy healing work or other kinds of helping, coaching, counseling, and you're not sure how to do that because you haven't taken the training yet. Don't worry, there will be time. We will need people in the third and fourth and fifth and sixth and 17th waves of dealing with this and recovering from that. So there's lots of time for that. Just be on the step you're on and help from the place of really of like how you were already helping people, but maybe you just didn't know it. Just holding space and having great conversations with people and just, reaching out and asking people how they're doing, and things that you were probably doing all of the time without thinking about it, uplifting people and helping them in all of these beautiful ways. Most people don't realize the value they bring to others' lives. And if you've ever had somebody dear to you pass away, who just lived their life and they were just great and they just made you feel warm and safe and welcome, and the absence of them you really noticed, it's like they were just them. They were just themselves, and they didn't even know how much they impacted you. A couple of years ago, one of my cousins passed away. She was my second cousin, and she shared a birthday with me. I didn't know her all that well because she was older than me. But because she shared her birthday, she had a special place in my heart. And she passed away really suddenly. And when I went to her funeral, she never had kids of her own. And and she wasn't married. But she helped 4-H kids, and it was amazing at the funeral because the church was full, and there were kids outside to show their respect because she was their second mom. Oof, sorry. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but it must be important for somebody. And it was so touching because we just don't realize the power of the light worker, and how much it may not be our job or what we get money for, but it's important and we need it, and we need everybody doing their little piece from wherever they are. So there we go. Whew, that was a lot of emotion. Yes, grateful to slow down. Thank you, Lori. Yes, I love all of this, and thank you all for holding space for me to share my story. Maybe Ayla, if you wanted to pop in and share maybe some of your thoughts while I ground back in.
Yes, these are crazy times. I'm a hairdresser, and so I spend a lot of my day just chatting with people. Like Geneva said, it's become really aware to me because the salon is still open currently. How much people just need someone to listen. That alone, all the way through my career. Kayla, I know, does aesthetics and lashes and stuff here too, so I'm sure she's nodding in agreement. Like, yeah, people just need to talk. It's a really, really valuable gift. Just the simple gift of listening, and anybody can do it. You just have to want to, and just listen with the intent to understand. And I think people love that right now, because that you dropping into your heart space to listen allows them to drop into their heart space to speak too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yes. I just wanted to share one more from Andrea. I've been busy for my whole life, if not 10 years at least. I've been bringing yin into my life over the last few years because it has been the only way to move forward. In my new life, I'm taking leaps on how much more I'm investing in stillness and meditation. My dreams may change through this time, but I know through this, I will only have found a more real and valuable version of myself, and that is what I'm feeling most grateful for. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you. Yes. Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for being here and holding really big space for everybody through all of the things that we're going through. It's a time of growth and change and transition and disruption and all of those things. So in the old way, the old me before all of this happened, I was doing my work and sharing it the best I could, and I have a physical center called Luna Holistic in Calgary that will stay open as long as I can fiercely hold on to that space. And so I was doing this work and sharing this work with people, and through really making and sharing and creating these things about Reiki and meditation and dropping into the center of your heart for years. But along the way, it came with a big side helping of vulnerability, of dodging my inner critic, of feeling like afraid of what other people might think, about what other people might say. Um, and so I would do things like make this book, and then I would hide under a blanket for weeks, months, years. And I would have a plan to market this book and get it into people's hands. And I would just kind of, it's like, yeah, I wrote a book. Nobody buy it. Please, nobody see me. But I did it. Here it is. But I'm just not going to share it. So that's what I did. And I'm really gentle with that past version of me because, I made the book. I got past my vulnerability. I tapped into my courage and I did it anyway. Is what, like, I think her name is Susan Jeffers, is the author, and she has a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's a really great resource for people. And so I was doing that, and I was living in that, and as I was doing my own healing work, I really did move through a lot of layers of vulnerability, and so that I could help more and more people with this work, because the call in my heart was too big to ignore, and it would move me past my inner fears and the things that were holding me back, and all the distractions that you can get into to numb and avoid, these scary things, of putting yourself out there. And so that was the old way. And then in the new way, I find that since all this has happened, I've had a lot of Reiki and I've had a lot of help from people over the last couple of days. So thank you all who have sent me support and energy. And what I find is in these sessions and in moving through it in this last little bit, I really find that my last excuse has been smashed away, because the call to service has been so great that it's the only place that feels comfortable. It's the place where I feel no fear. I feel completely calm and centered. And it just, everything within me says that this is the right thing to do. And so I'm doing it, and I'm trying to help and share as many people as possible. The old me, so I'm writing this book and it's channeled. The old me would never share it until it was completely finished. And I had about 20 people reading it that I loved. Because if one person doesn't like it, then that's okay, because I have like the crowd to support me. I love statistics, by the way. So I always go with the law of averages. I'm like, as long as most people like it, it doesn't matter. Like the critic can get drowned out. But it's really my inner critic that was always the problem. And so I've had this whole career of dodging my inner critic and getting the work into people's hands. And so a big part of what I do is, and what I've always been doing, is to teach people how to do, manage their energy with, and do Reiki sessions for other people, and teach people how to host meditations and give meditations for others, and organize classes. And that's been a big part of my work. But another big part of my work has been supporting people and mentoring them to create their own thing. Because it always felt like, what are the things that are limiting me? And before, I had all of this stuff in my head that was limiting me. And now what's limiting me is 2 hands and 24 hours. That's it. And balancing all of the other things that everybody else is balancing, like figuring out new schedules and taking time for self-care, and trying to adapt my brick and mortar business to a combination of brick and mortar and online, and how that all is going to look. I would have never held my book up and said, please buy my book to support this work. But look at me doing this promotion thing? It's like, because I need it. I need it to keep everything moving so that this can happen. But beyond that, it's a really great book. It's a really, really great book, and it really helps a lot of people. So, yeah. Anyway, and so part of what I do is I mentor people using the chakras system, and the aura, and I use the chakras as a blueprint to create all of the things that I make. And sometimes I do it knowing that I'm doing it, but most of the time it's always in there somewhere. So I'm very shortly I'll be creating or it'll be out in public, which is an online course. There's going to be a free one to start off with, which I'll get out as soon as I can, called Magnetic Manifesting with the Energetic 8. So if you are interested in creating an online business or something like that, and you're not sure how to get started, and maybe you're feeling nerves, I will be posting that really soon. And it's a really great introduction into sort of all of the, a little brief sort of introduction to what the chakras are, if you're unfamiliar, and how you could use them to build maybe something new that you can do, a business that you could build at home, that you could share your gifts and work and talent with people. Yes. And so that will be up and posted really soon. And then I will be also creating a pilot version of the paid online course, which is something that I was like, yeah, sometime in 2020, I'll get to it. But I'm getting to it as soon as I physically am able, which is a business coaching course that will be hosted online, where I will guide you through all of the things. Old way, I was going to just wait on that and make sure I had all of these nice little polished videos and they were all really short. And new way is it's the Wright brothers plane. It's just the minimum viable version that can get it into the air. So the reason that I'm hosting these right away is because I know how to do this part, these meetings and everything like that. And so yeah, so I'm doing that work, and really wanting to help you if that's an area that you would like help in. So that's a thing that's coming soon. It'll be pilot scale pricing, so it'll be a reduced price from whatever the finished version is, and I'll just be adding content and sort of posting things online and just working through things with people live and recording it all. And but I'll have more details for that soon. But yeah, Ayla.
I totally just want to jump in because I have
Yes.
taken the in-person business mentoring with Geneva, and it is amazing. So I just wanted to jump in and say that this online thing is going to be unreal. I'm so excited about it. And the in-person coaching changed my friggin' life. So here we are.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and just for you, those of you know, that I am limited by 2 hands and 24 hours. Ayla is also doing life coaching, and you can book distance sessions online. And really, we've now created an online online sessions or online services page from the Luna Holistic blog. So don't feel like you have to. If money is tight for you, don't worry about it. We'll continue to host as many free events as we can so you can get the support you need. But if you are interested and able to invest some funds into your self-care through distance Reiki, or you want maybe to explore coaching in some way, we will be putting that there, and we'll be putting up more of our team members there as well, of how you can book them as things progress. We're all kind of, as you can imagine, we've got, you know, a really lovely group at Luna Holistic, and everybody's in a different place with it right now. So, and we're all sort of working through whatever we're working through. So we'll be adding more practitioners there as people are able. So there's lots of ways that you can get the support you need. We can get the support we need. We love working one-on-one and with groups with people. So it's really about getting the information in people's hands. So maybe you can create another stream of income for yourself that helps people, because we need you to help people. And we also need you to continue to generate an income, because we need you to live so you can help us, right? So, and a lot of my work is about that, about setting up pricing and setting up systems. But before we even get into the nitty-gritty details of it, we start off in the bigger picture, which is, you know, what is the divine energy within you, the deep within your heart, say, this is the thing you must do. So that's really where we start, is to start from, we build it from the inside out. Because just like when you're building a building, the first step of building a building isn't sticking a shovel in the ground. It's starting out with a dream, or the bigger picture, or the image of what you want to have happen. And so it's really about, you know, anything that we build. So you think of a house, the house starts with the dream in the architect's mind, with the dream in the heart of those future homeowners, of where they'd like to live. And then it gets created from there. And then you create a blueprint and a plan, and you bring that energy in from the aura down through all of the chakras. And then when you get to the root chakra, then you make it, and it's there. And that's when you can share it with people. And that process and that system works really, really well for anything that you're building. So, and really anything that we're building. I was thinking about it as I was just saying, I'm like, we're rebuilding our whole, how we're doing everything, you know, and we really need to think about all of the different levels but really it's creating things based from the heart energy, because people are in their hearts. Your heart knows, your heart has certainty to it, and the mind can't process, but the heart knows. So when we drop into our heart space, we really can make, that's when we make the best decisions. And that's when our impact and our actions, though tiny, they really create a really, really big ripple. So wonderful. Okay, where are we at? Perfect time. Okay, so still working through it a little bit. So I'm channeling this book, and it's with an ascended master, and I'm just going to share a little bit of it, just a few excerpts from it, because one of the things that I just sort of channeled and wrote really deals with this idea of helping and how to help. And so if you are able to help others, how do you go about that, and what does that look like? Keeping in mind that we are still in a quantum universe where our thoughts create things. The law of attraction has not stopped at all. And so, and it's steady. It was the same before, and it's the same right now. But the energy is really, really powerful, and the energy is very big and positive, and it really ripples out in a beautiful way. So, without further ado, here's the thing. Your words are powerful. Your intent and resolve are powerful. You create this world and all in it with your thoughts. So all actions you take from disconnection will bring disconnection. If you offer money to charity with an attitude of pity, are you truly helping? No, you're giving them pity, more poverty, more of what they already have. It adds to the problem. If instead you affirm their prosperity, their resilience, their courage in facing a difficult life path, if you ask what they need, then offer the money or goods with faith, then you give them faith, resilience, and prosperity. It is not the action, it is the energy behind the action. The miracle is already present before it begins in the minds and hearts of those receiving it. When you help others from the basis of positive intent, of holding the vision and image of their happiness and wholeness, you unlock the miracle process. It flows through you just as ink through a pen. The miracle, the healing, the fortunate result is always the blossom on the tree of faith. It is the end result of a much deeper process of several people gathered to invite in the healing. If you focus on their pain and the hurt and the worry, the problem, what is the result? What could you possibly give them other than more of what they already have? It is a grave disservice to act in this way. The power of your mind, your words, your spirit to create positivity is immense. You have a sacred responsibility to be disciplined with your mind, words, and energy. Because you are reading these words now, or listening to them, you are one among many who have access to powerful amounts of spiritual energy. This energy flows with your thoughts, even if you're unaware of it. You can sculpt and mold your mind and thoughts and energy into positive forms. And you have a sacred purpose to use these natural gifts to uplift the world, your community, your family, your own life. You can shift your state and energy and thoughts to one of uplifting illumination. You have that ability naturally within you right now. With no training, you can think a positive thought. You can send a message of gratitude and grace. You can focus on the light and increase its brightness. You do not have to battle the dark. You do not fight sickness. You bring health, vitality, positivity. You make way for the miracle to happen and invite in God's grace, the divine holy light of the gracious Mother, the Spirit, and the blessings of the universe itself. With that invitation, miracles ensue. Stay humble in this holy process. It occurs based on a willingness of all parties. Your part is one of many, so claim only credit for your participation and return the rest to grace, the grace and the thanks of the divine. You are the instrument, the flute through which the universe plays its song. Your work is to surrender to the magnificence and follow the guided steps. Your work is to dream a better dream and create miracles for us all. To look for inspiration and harmony and light, and direct your thoughts thusly. This is all part of your plan as you incarnated here to learn about disharmony, perhaps experiencing some pain and trauma yourself, to learn about energy and compassion and the power of thoughts and words to shape reality. And now that you know, now that you have the data of your life experience to guide you, now that you understand that the universe is energy and consciousness, and it responds to your thoughts, feelings, and energy and it creates your collective reality. You know this. Now that you know this, what will you do? You have a sacred obligation to use this energy well, to align your thoughts with a positive intent, to create a better world, to shine the light and dispel illusion, to focus with faith and trust and assurance on what is wanted, to ask your questions of us, the divine, and receive the blessed answers, to listen and hear deeply these words of faith and resolve. And as you do, a courage and strength will grow in you that will defy all logic of those stuck in the illusion of materiality. You will have the faith of a mountain, steady and true, and you will have the evidence of this truth pile up about your feet like flowers. This is your only task. Set your mind upon the truth of limitless interconnectivity of your soul with God, the universe, and then act from this knowledge. There we go. That was a big vulnerable thing for me to do. I'd love to hear what you thought. Ayla?
Oh man, I love listening to that. I was like jotting down a few little good tidbits there. I was like, ooh, these are really nice. Yeah, just so much goodness. I'm so excited you just read some of that, because I feel like that's exactly the book that the world needs right now. Like I feel like, yeah, it's amazing. I can't wait to read the whole thing.
It's on its way. It's on its way bit by bit. Kayla, what did you get from that?
I agree with Ayla. It sounds absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to read the whole book. Oh, lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you for the support. Yay. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, it's a little nervy to share something you've just written. Like that's like downloaded first draft. But it just felt like such important information. That was, gosh, when did I write that? I'm always fascinated. I wrote that January 6th, 2020, light years ago. And it just feels like, yeah, we needed that. You know, there's all these little synchronicities piling up that I see everywhere. Like, we've got this Khalil Gibran quote, and it comes from the book The Prophet, which is a beautiful book. But in it, one of the lines is, "Stand together, yet not too near together." I'm like, oh, Mr. Gibran, you knew? You knew when you wrote that book this was going to happen? It's beautiful. So if you're looking for this very poetic take on life, that's a really great read. Yes. There we go. How is everybody feeling? How is everybody? Do you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to share, or anything where anything at all? Just type it into the chat. I'll let Ayla and Kayla sort of bring things to my attention. Let me just go back to my notes. Yeah, I think we're good. You guys are good? Thumbs up. Good. Okay. Everything is wonderful. So, oh, thank you, everybody. Beautiful Beautiful sentiments all around. So before we I've been doing this every time there's a meditation, which is really like an energy activation and healing combined. It's kind of just listening to it is like receiving a Reiki session as far as I'm concerned. And so I'd like to do that for you now. And before that, like maybe as we've been talking, you've been inspired by something, or there's something that really popped out for you of, when you tap into your heart and you sort of, ground into the body and you tap into your heart space of an area of what you're of sort of where you might go from here, or what your heart says is next, and just sort of maybe you have some ideas that have popped in already, but this meditation healing combo thing is energy activation. Let's just call it an energy activation. If anybody can, if their heart tells me what this is called, I would love to know. It doesn't have a title yet. Look, no title. So it needs a title. I'm sometimes I get all wordsed out. So, but I'll deliver that now. But afterwards, I'd love it for us to talk about what our next tiny little inspired action will be going forward. So when we leave here today, what is one tiny little thing that your heart says, do this? And it can be really simple. So sometimes it's like, go put this thing together, go build a website, go read this book, go hang out with your kids. For me, there was my heart, when I tuned in to what my being said, it was said, go eat soup, go lay down, go cry, go hug your family, go call your parents, and though it's really like allowing those things to just lead us, and just because we will get through this with the energy and within our heart, because our soul is connected to the ancient energy within the earth, within the universe, within everything. And when we tap into that place that knows, then we're always guided to the right place. So anyway, we'll get settled and we'll do this meditation, healing, energy activation thingy. Take a few deep breaths, just relaxing, gently closing your eyes, just letting any of that static charge be released gently by a sigh of relief. Just knowing there's a strong guiding presence here with us all. Deep down in the core of everything, there is a steadiness and a flow. A deep inherent wisdom within the planet, gently guiding us and nourishing us. Supporting us in any way imaginable. Just letting everything heavy melt into the tender arms of Mother Earth. She is prepared to receive it all. There is nothing too big. There's nothing too painful. There's nothing too overwhelming that she cannot help us with. Letting that strong and nourishing guidance flow. Feeling that ancient rhythm of energy. Knowing that rhythm within the earth. That slow and deep cycle of nature lives within you. You can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your heart. You know this to be true. Take another deep sigh of relief. Letting everything melt off of your shoulders. Placing temporarily everything outside of your bubble. Keeping in the space and time to be in the stillness inside of you. Letting anything that isn't connected to your purpose in this lifetime go. Allowing your soul to decide what to keep and what to stay. Knowing that this is a process that happens deep inside of you. A knowingness within your heart. Allowing the mind and all of its thoughts to step into service of your heart and your soul. Your heart is in charge and it knows what to do. Your heart is in presence and full expansion of your spirit and your being in this moment. This beautiful and precious moment with all its grace and gifts. It's yours. A beautiful violet light is descending to touch your crown. Welcome in the light and allow it to fill your crown and third eye, your throat, through your shoulders, down the arms and hands. Moving in through the heart, the solar plexus, your belly, gathering all of your solar plexus energy, keeping it inside you. Bring it to the sacral, the lower belly, and the root at the base of your spine, and all the way down your legs, to the bottoms of the feet, and all the way to the center of the earth, completely connected and rooted. Take a few soft breaths into whatever you are feeling, knowing that all your feelings are okay, giving them space to be felt fully, breathing deeply into the sensations of it, noticing how they naturally shift and move very gently, one by one, being led into the light and grace of your soul. Begin taking soft breaths into your energy field, noticing what's there, noticing with kindness and compassion, allowing anything in your energy field that isn't yours to dissolve, letting it go to the highest light, knowing that there is an immense, kind, and loving presence within the universe, looking out for all of us. Surrender everything that is beyond your control to the light. Allowing your aura to be swept clean and clear by your guides and angels, your immense divine team. Around the edges of your aura, imagine a beautiful rainbow. Red on the interior, closest to your body. Beyond the red, a beautiful, vibrant orange. Beyond the orange, a brilliant yellow. Beyond the yellow, a deep and sparkling green. And beyond the green, a cool and soothing blue. And beyond the blue, a serene indigo. And beyond the indigo, a protective, healing violet all around your aura. Totally smooth and clear, head to toe, all the way around you, knowing that this field is maintained by the angels in your team, with a strong intention for Mother Earth and the universe itself, guided and protected by your divine team, all the beings of light. They will maintain this for you, even if your mind wanders, attending to other details of life. It will stay there. knowing that this energy will be there for you and continue for you. You can gently wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing the energy down through your legs, just moving your hands down your legs, connecting back into the earth. And then with your hands facing your body, we'll just smooth off the aura, the energy container or bubble just near our body. Make sure it's nice and smooth and even from head to toe. And giving that little energy bubble around you a little pat to seal it in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I would absolutely love to hear from you all in the chat. If any of you would like to go online with us and share, we can share your voice if you have a good headset and a good internet connection, we'll be able to hear you. But if you don't feel like that, that's okay too. If you just type in what maybe what you experienced with that or anything else, love to hear from you. Yeah, there we go. Kayla, how about you? What did you experience?
Just like, again, so I found it so grounding and calming, and a lot of light, a lot of vibrant colors, and my aura feels bright and shiny. It was quite lovely. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Ayla, what did you experience?
That was so lovely. Towards the end there, I like opened my eyes and I wrote down chakra shower and aura charger. Because that's literally what it felt like. It felt like just cleaning the pipes of my chakras and just like charging up my aura, which is what a Reiki session really feels like. So yeah, I feel great. I feel like pretty energetic actually. Yeah.
Yeah, great. This from Allison. Incredibly relaxed but buzzy and alive at the same time. Wonderful. And Christine, thanks, Geneva. Beautiful, calming. Andrea, feeling safe and protected and surrounded by pure love. Chakra bound. Jessie, thank you so much, Geneva. I feel like my mind and thoughts are suppressed in a way that lets my body feel connected and fluid. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's like a Reiki session with words. I will be recording, not recording, I'll be like probably chopping this out of a previous thing and posting just the meditations that we do separately, because some of them are going to be downloaded as we go. So so I will be, as time allows, I will be posting those up. Now that we're in this really connected space, I'm curious what your heart's saying. What is that tiny little next little direction on the steps? You know, what is a tiny little empowered action that something deep inside you is saying, this is what's next for you? And nothing is too small. It's all so meaningful. All, you know, just even if it's like to call a friend or you know, nurture your physical body, or or, maybe start planning on doing some of the bigger projects that have been on the back burner. Or just even giving yourself time to like walk outside in the fresh air and just sort of enjoy the beauty of nature. I'd love to hear from you. You can type that in the chat of what you might be feeling. How about you, Ayla? What actions is your heart and soul saying this is next?
Oh, I feel like there's a couple of things that are on my list now. Doing some writing is one of them. I feel like I'm supposed to also just get some rest today. I feel like that's been really clear. Like you're just supposed to do some chilling. Have a cup of tea.
Yes, self-care,
Yeah.
massively important, massively important.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Yasmin, rest and sleep. Absolutely, absolutely do that. And don't worry if you feel like you are resting a lot, or if you feel like you're not ready to like take on the world and do all of these things. That's okay. You may be preparing, you may already be engaged in very intensive work holding space for people already. So don't minimize that. If you're a mom and you've got little tiny ones, like your job is to nurture them and take care of yourself through this, and don't worry about the big grand global actions. Like there's lots of other people who have that as a resource, the time and the energy and the funds to start reaching it on a global scale. There are people absolutely who are already doing that. So it's good to stay within from where you are right now, where you stand, where's your best service, including the service for yourself. Andrea, break down each action and plans by using the chakras as a blueprint to first check in with the flow of energy. Thanks for this. Thank you, Andrea. That leads me into something else I wanted to share, which I'll get to in a little second. But I want to hear from Kayla. What's your heart calling you to do?
I love that everyone's saying rest, because that's the first thing that came out. Like my heart was just screaming like, "Hey, rest!" Because as much as I was like earlier saying I'm loving the slowing down, but like I really have not slowed down. It's just been a different tone. Like I've been just like literally for the last 24 hours, I've been on Zoom meetings and gatherings like nonstop, or doing courses, and just, and I'm like, no, I haven't slowed down. It's just a less busy type of, I don't know how to word it, but so I'm like, yeah, just rest. And then I really am motivated to write up some new meditations all of a sudden. So yeah, it'll come after rest.
Yes, absolutely. It's yeah, it's really, really important to listen to those things. And then it's also really important to be mindful of when we're like doing things to keep ourselves busy, which we absolutely need to do. There's like everybody's housework has like tripled or it's gone to astronomical levels of just trying to keep everything clean and everything healthy and yourself well, and on top of all of the other things. It's really really important to not have action. Like the world is calling us to rest and be in yin. And so if you're being called inward, then just be inward, and that's okay. And really notice that if you find it hard to just be still and do nothing, then that might be because there's some feelings there. And so just give yourself some time to like feel into those experiences, do some meditations, cry it out in the tub, give yourself that space to sort of be. That's important. Allison says, connecting with my sister. She's far away physically, yet I can hear her voice in seconds, which is also so super important for all of us right now to stay in that connected space. One of the other little things that I've made, which you can buy. It's on the resources page is this chakra journal. And it's something that I made. So last summer, I had my appendix out. And so I was in the state of discomfort for way longer than I wanted to be. When you have abdominal surgery and the appendix makes you feel really sick and everything. I was just struggling because I knew needed to respect the process of recovery, but I knew that what I could do each day changed moment by moment. So this was the process that I used, and it's a tool that's available for you. I am, when it's the next thing my heart says, I will be creating a downloadable free just version that you can fill in. So if funds are an issue, you can still use this process, or you can just use it in your own journal, which is what I did before I made this. So basically every day you're checking in with your energy levels in each of the chakras in the chakra and aura. You probably can't see it. And then writing what your divine team has to say, just doing a little free write of what your divine says you need to do. And then based on that, creating a list of restorative actions. So either yin, things that are gonna slow you down and rest, or an action plan. So things that are basically something that's going to increase that energy. I always think sometimes, I think of like the energy within our throat chakra. Sometimes if we've been using our throat a lot, we need to, people who sing a lot, they have to recover by resting their throat. And there's a whole pile of things that they have to do to maintain their instrument. And so, so if you've been using a lot of the energy of one chakra, you have to then rest it. And then also if a chakra is depleted or you're running low on that energy, you're not asking it to do more and more and more and more. You're giving yourself time to top yourself up. And it also is something that you can do. It's really great because like what you're able to do is going to change moment to moment. And I've got this as a daily practice, but you could do it as often or as close to together or far apart as you'd like. It's undated, so whenever you get to the end, you get to the end. And there's a whole pile of instructions of how to do that and examples of restorative actions, explanations of what all the chakras are. So it's a good introduction to everything. So the restorative actions for the root chakra: rest, napping, drinking water, walking, time outdoors, connecting to loved ones through routine and ritual, grounding energy, time being still, time and movement, yoga, tai chi, stretching, all forms of exercise, creating order, support, and structure, and the power of healthy routines. So that's kind of what's in this little container here. But yeah, there you go. Wonderful. So this is going to be recorded, and everything that all of these events will be posted on the Luna Holistic blog. Check the main homepage of Luna Holistic for future events. We'll be holding another one on Sunday. Please share the lunaholistic.com website with anybody who you feel could use this information, and or just share it on all of the ways, because I only got 2 hands in 24 hours. That's what's limiting me from sharing this with more people. So if each of you shared it with people who you feel like could benefit or or would be interested in this, then please do. these are all I'm going to be hosting these twice a week. They're free events, and I just want to keep reaching out and helping and supporting as many people as we're able to. So and you just really don't know how a simple share of a link could really impact somebody. So please do that. Yeah, and you can stay connected with us by registering your email on the Luna Holistic site, our email list. You'd get a nice little self-healing meditation that you can download as part of that. But then you'll also get, as far as I can see, I'll be doing my best to send out an email of something positive and hopeful and grounding, and that connects us all every day on that email list. So if you'd like that, please register there. It's a safe unsubscribe as well. So if you aren't interested in the future, you can always unsubscribe. So no worries there. And anybody else have anything to share before we close it off? We're just about done. We're good. I'd like to finish with a hug. We need our hugs. So let's just reach out and hug, do this virtual hug. And then I want you to just like widen your arms a little bit to let a few more people into the circle. And then maybe imagining we're spread out all over the world, wherever you happen to be sitting on Mother Earth right now, that all of our hands are reaching out to everybody else's hands. And then reaching out even a little bit bigger. And the entire earth is within your arms. Just giving that beautiful earth a big hug. And feel the hug back. Just hug yourself. Great. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much to my facilitators today, Ayla Thomas and Kayla Young. You can see more of their work if you go to the lunaholistic.com website and their team pages. Please support them. They're really helping me do all of this work. Thank you, everybody who's joined live. Thank you to everyone who's joining later. I really appreciate you. Keep anchoring in the light, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you.